So thought, which has planned this society, which has divided the world into Asia and Europe, the communist, the socialist, the capitalist, and the Democrat, Republican, all that is created by thought. It's simple. The army, the navy, the air force, to kill. Not only for transportation, but also to kill. This is so obvious, isn't it? So thought is very important in our life. Because without thought, we can't do anything. Right? For you to come here from your distance required planning, adjusting, taking a train, aeroplane, taking a bus, etc., etc. All that is part of your thinking. Right? So what is thinking? You work it out, don't listen to me. What is thinking? You can't live without certain kind of thinking, right? Planning, going back to your house, going back to do your work and so on, your marriage, sex, and everything is contained in the process of thought. So what is thinking? The speaker has talked about it a lot. So don't go back to his books. Don't say, yes, I've heard that before. But here, you forget all the books, all the things you have read. Because we must approach this each time anew. So thinking is based on knowledge, right? If you have no knowledge, how to come here or take a bus or this or that, you wouldn't be here. So, knowledge, memory, thought. Right? David? And we have accumulated tremendous knowledge. How to sell each other, how to exploit each other, how to build bridges, how to create gods and temples. We have done all that. The various ashramas where there are all, all that concentration camps of certain kind. So thought has done all this. Created the army, the navy, the aeroplane. Thought has also, through knowledge, temples and all that business. So, without experience, there is no knowledge. Right? Be logical, sirs. Logic is necessary up to a certain point. But if you start without logic, clarity, then you become superstitious, imaginative, coming to conclusions, building temples and all that kind of nonsense. So, without experience, there is no knowledge. The scientists are adding every day something new. Please follow this carefully, if you don't mind. Experience is limited, right? Because you are adding more and more to it through knowledge. Experience, knowledge, stored in the brain as memory, and then that is the beginning of thought. Right? Am I right or you are right? What do you say? God, don't you feel anything? So, experience is always limited. Right? because you are adding more and more and more. Every day in the scientific world, in your own life, you learn something more. So, experience is limited, therefore knowledge is limited, memory is limited, and therefore thought is limited. Right? Am I sane or insane? And we live by thought. So we never recognize, though thought can imagine most extraordinary heaven and hell, the Olympic gods of the Greeks, the Egyptian gods. You know anything about all that? No, doesn't matter. So, your thought is always limited. And your gods whom thought has created will always be limited. Right? I know you don't like this, but don't hear it. It's your gods, your thinking, however wide it may be, or however narrow it may be, all this is limited. And from this limitation, we try to find the energy. You understand what I'm saying? We try to find the origin, the beginning of creation.